What's up, guys?
Hello.
Welcome to the last game of the second stream, Resonance of Fate. Some people might know it, some people might not. It's a Tri-Ace game made in
2010.
2010.
Yeah.
Published by Sega, and yeah, we're about to hop into this run. So timing starts whenever it starts. So 3, 2, 1, go. So Noctis will fill you in with a story a little bit throughout the run.
Yeah.
For the people that don't know the game, most of the story is skipped because there's a skip cutscene button. And yeah, because you guys donated for English audio, we're gonna have the English audio. We're not gonna hear a whole lot of it except for during the fights. All right, what I'm doing here is I'm changing equipment on my characters. There's two types of weapons in this game and grenades. The two types of weapons do different kinds of damage. So the idea behind the combat system is that you hit enemies first with your SMGs to scratch them, and then you convert the scratch damage into direct damage with your pistols. You'll see that in detail in a little bit, because we're just picking up some quests here, which we have to do. It's the goal of the prologue. So the game explains you what to do.
Yeah, the combat is also a bit complicated because you just don't shoot enemies. You have different stuff like hero run and try attack, which we're gonna be using throughout the run.
You'll see that in just a second. We're gonna go down here to this non-safe space where we're gonna get an encounter. It's always gonna be the same encounter. So the targeting system is a little bit awkward in this game. What I did here was a hero run with my SMG user in order to scratch these enemies. As you can see, the scratch damage is the blue bar. And after that, I'm just going to shoot them with the pistol to convert all of it into direct damage. And the goal right here is to get 3 energy hexes, which we just did. They're used to open up the world map. As you can see, the world map consists of a lot of hexagons. And the only way to progress through the game is to open up the world map with them. You can find them on the world map by opening treasures, or you can get them from random encounters.
I will say I tried this game a little bit because Nev made me, and this game is definitely more difficult than it looks. And for people in chat asking about the glasses, it's because I'm very tired. I had a rough night. I'm not going to take them off.
Also, this game has random encounters, which are awful in any game because they can lose a lot of time. Luckily, we can just run out of the encounter. So right now our goal is to take this core lift up to the 3rd level. If you want to explain what the levels have.
So we're like bounty hunters, and we took up a bounty to bring someone a crystal or something. It's actually a quartz, which we'll get into later. It's really important.
Yes.
Like this entire world is called Basel. It's like a giant tower, because the whole world is filled with like poisonous gas or something. And we're making our living by doing tasks for cardinals and other richer people. Like the higher levels of Basel are called Chandelier. That's where we're at right now, I think. And the prologue is just basically kind of a tutorial to explain you the attacks and like general things.
The game normally wants you to visit the arena, because the arena is basically just like a tutorial area. It's gonna explain all of the different aspects of the game to you. But obviously we already know that, so it's completely redundant to go there for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, we opened up the way to the cafe, got the stuff, brought it up to the 3rd level to a guy called Pater.
Pater, yeah.
And now we're just gonna go back. And as soon as we go back into the hideout, we're gonna be prompted to either advance the chapter or continue, because we haven't completed all the quests yet. Obviously, we don't care about the side quests. There's gonna be one side quest that we're gonna do later on, but that's not gonna be until chapter 6. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the upper part of the city. We could walk there normally inside the city, but that is slow. So the city is split into 3 parts. We're just gonna go to the world map and then go to the top part of it, which is faster than going all the way around.
Yep.
And we're gonna sell some stuff here, buy some stuff. Get into detail a little bit later. So we're gonna buy some escape hexes here, some custom kit sets, rookie sights, apparel, magazines. This is with exactly 3.5k rubies left. And we're gonna make 4 of these top sights, 2 of these handgun magazines, 1 of the SMG magazines, and now we're gonna use the customization feature, which is
OP.
pretty unique and pretty hilarious at times. So we're gonna put a scope on a sight on a side, and then we're gonna do that on the scan as well. And more sights, so they block each other by work anyways, because logic.
Yeah.
I love the customization in this game. This is just, it can get so ridiculous in the late game.
Yes.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in the run, it's gonna stay pretty simple. But if you're playing casually and you get to the post-game content, or like quote-unquote post-game content, it's gonna be quite the thing.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm Fog. I was never introduced.
Oh yeah, my co-commentators here, this is Noctis.
Hi.
And this is Fog.
And who are you?
I am Neviutz. I'm running this game. One of the few people.
One of the few European people, I guess.
One of the few people in
Western.
general.
Yeah, there's not even a lot of Japanese runners for this game.
I think there is 3 Japanese RTA runners and 1 guy who did a segmented run at some point.
Reason for this is the game wasn't overly popular and it's a really difficult speedrun, which you'll see.
Yes, you'll see that especially later on. A lot of the enemy AI depends on what you do, so the enemy AI is pretty reactive instead of like static. So depending on how I move my characters, enemies are going to react to that. So as good in one way, but it can also be bad, because if I do a mistake, enemies going to behave differently than what I'm used to. And we're obviously going to try and avoid that by not making any mistakes. But it's a long run, it's a difficult run, a lot of precise things. So we're going to be hoping for the best here. Later on, it's not going to be as bad because you have more tools available, but yeah. Also, I'm using these red colored hexes right now because there was a red hex block in the way. The red ones are limited. You only get them from certain enemies, and you get them at the beginning of certain chapters. Same thing for different colors. And right now I'm going to be opening up the map in a weird way that might seem like a waste to some people because I'm overlapping some of these. But the reason for that is I don't want to open up any chests here because they have nothing useful.
And it takes time.
Exactly. It gives me like you got an item prompt. All right, we got a random encounter in this area called Lucia, which it's kind of unfortunate. Normally, I would use the first aid kit and equip an escape hex, but I can't do that because if I do that, I will leave the entire area, and I don't want that.
Right now, he's very limited on resources, so
yes,
he cannot restart a fight, and that would cost him a lot of money, and he can't really, you know, place the hexes wrong either.
I also accidentally jumped here, which wasn't my intention. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use the girl as bait.
Someday I'll be able to help.
To have these guys behind the barricade target her.
Yeah, we can just run through these rooms because it's not required for the mission.
Exactly.
Knock yourself out.
And it would take forever to kill all of these enemies.
Oh, yeah, somebody asked what the world record for this is, if you know.
237 by Takeshi, who is a Japanese runner at this game, and he is insanely good at it. Don't expect this run to get anywhere close to it, partially because it's in a marathon, so I'll be taking a couple of safe strats. And to be fair, I practiced the potential true finale of this stream more than this game, which would be Pringles, if you guys can meet the donation incentive for that.
Oh so, yeah, what is the donation incentive at for Pringles?
So at the moment it is at $235 out of 400. So it's going pretty good so far.
Yeah, if you guys can meet that incentive until the end of this run, I'll show you the most hype speed game at this event. Shout out to George for setting up that game in the streaming area, the practice room.
Shout out to Nev for playing it like every day at ESA.
And shout out for Fatske for actually putting up the donation incentive while I was asleep.
Oh, you actually didn't know he set it up?
I didn't know until the morning after. Alright, so this is one of the things that I mentioned earlier, precise positioning, an enemy AI.
It's like the first true boss of the game, Tarman.
Yes. I'm gonna position Zephyr here. Oh. That's fine, I have 0 rubies anyways.
Stay close.
So I'm gonna position Zephyr here, Rinbell here, and then we're gonna use Vacheron to run approximately here. So the Tarman is gonna target Zephyr, and he's gonna keep targeting Zephyr, even though we're getting pretty close. So if you look at the bottom of the enemy, you see a lot of
bars.
You see a lot of bars, which are the enemy's armor parts. I needed to fully scratch one of them in order to be able to hit his body parts. Alright, so now we're gonna do a thing that's called tri-attack. I'll get into detail after this fight because this is actually a little bit difficult, but we got it. It's the fast strat too, he didn't get an attack off. Tri-attack works this way. If one of your characters runs in between the two other characters with a hero run, you will get 1 resonance point. Moving will completely wipe your resonance. Skipping a turn, like completely skipping a turn, will waste 1 resonance point. And just toggling between the active party members will not waste any turn, will not waste any resonance. So the way tri-attack works is everyone charges the weapons at the same time, and after you shoot, or if you switch, you can shoot with another party member right after, which is really convenient for a speed run because it lets you take care of a lot of enemies really fast, and it's going to be used a lot throughout the entire run.
Yeah.
Also, what you saw earlier with the random encounter, he used the escape pack, or was it the medkit to escape? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, it's the escape packs.
Yeah.
I used it after I beat the boss because I wanted to get out of the entire area. I couldn't use it on the random encounter because that would have also gotten me out of the Lucia area. All right. So now story time.
Story time. We just had a blackout, so we're heading over to get that fixed. One of our party members was showering when it happened, so a bit of fan service there.
You didn't get to see the fan service.
Yeah.
And one of the other party members, unfortunately and very inconveniently, ran into that showering party member.
And got hit in the face.
Alright, so right now I'm going to open up this terminal here, which is going to give me 1.5 times item drop ratio. If you see these cones here, I'm going to be fighting one of them because they block the road. It's kind of like a forced encounter.
Yeah.
And I open up this specific one because it is the shortest fight, and I accidentally jumped. It wasn't my intention, but it's not the end of the world. So we're just going to use Rinbell here, which is called Leanne in the English version. to shoot all of these guys because they don't have a lot of HP, so fully scratching them isn't exactly worth it. Gonna skip everyone else's turn.
Yeah, one thing for the resonance, sometimes you see the hero run glow blue. That is when you get resonance, basically.
Alright. That took like 10 seconds longer than it should have because I accidentally jumped in the beginning. That's fine. Alright, so we're gonna go to the power station now to fix the blackout. Since we only have 3 hero gauges, which you can see at the bottom of the screen, we're gonna have to conserve them. The way you get them back is by either killing enemies or destroying armor parts of enemies. I'm gonna be using Zephyr here to run through all of these areas that I don't need. Partially because he has a pistol equipped, so I can destroy this guy's armor part and hopefully do that. Because that will prevent him from actually shooting at me afterwards. I'm gonna pick up this chest because it has a couple of energy hexes that we need. And then we're just gonna keep going, keep going.
Yeah, the reason we don't walk is, as you can see, it's way slower.
Yes. I might have been a little bit too far to the left. That's fine. Yeah, way too far to the left. But as you can see, we also only have 1 shard left, which is not a big deal because I'm going to be fully recharging here. Well, not fully. But I only need 2 for the next room. But we're going to get 3 anyways. So the next room is a little bit tricky. We're going to make use of resonance here. So as you can see above the HP bars, you see a resonance 1. So we're gonna fully scratch this one, and we're gonna fully scratch the dog, and fully scratch this dog as well. The menuing here, like the targeting, is really difficult because the targeting in this game is really bad. Probably the worst thing in this game.
Yes,
right.
It's definitely the worst thing.
Sometimes the targeting doesn't really know where it wants to go when you press the direction buttons, so sometimes it'll just target a random enemy even though there's another enemy closer to you.
And you can do exactly the same targeting twice in a row, and sometimes it will just go into a different direction. It's kind of annoying. But. Alright, so we're gonna go this way here. Didn't hit any of the body parts, only armor, which is kind of inconvenient, but now that we destroyed the inner armor part, it's not nearly as bad.
You see him jumping to actually try and avoid the armor parts down below to get the full scratch on the actual health. To kill it off faster.
I thought Rainbow was still jumping. Alright, that was decently fast.
You could see what happened there. If he's not jumping, he's just gonna hit the armor in the direction it's actually facing.
Exactly.
So now we're fighting the Tesla tortoise.
Yes, and there's gonna be somewhat precise movement involved in this as well. I need to make sure I don't move in the beginning by accident. I also want to equip the ammunition. So I have a magazine case equipped with Vacheron, which goes with the SMG. So I equipped metal-coated rounds to deal more damage to machine-type enemies, basically. Then we're gonna move Rainbow over here. Gonna jump pretty early, shoot to destroy the armor. Alright. Get that sorted. Now the thing's gonna chase Rainbow. So that means we just run into his back. Jump with Zephyr because we don't want to shoot quite yet. I'm gonna fully scratch him first and then dead.
That's pretty much most boss fights in this game go. You just fully scratch and then pretty much kill it in 1 hit.
And the speedrun tries to do that as fast as possible.
And in other boss fights where there are multiple enemies, you'll also see him go directly for the boss, because if you beat the leader, the rest of the enemies will just give up.
Yes, they will just disappear.
Yep. Not all encounters have leaders, but most of them actually do.
It's most common for random encounters and bosses as opposed to rooms before, like in closed up areas, like the one we went in now. Only the boss was a leader, and like every room before that had just regular enemies. Alright, you get asked if you want to save after every chapter. I don't want to accidentally hit yes there because saving and loading is really slow in this game. Takes about 10 seconds to even get into the menu. In case anything goes horribly wrong, I do have a couple safety saves prepared, which use exactly the same route. There's gonna be about one point in the run later where I could get insanely unlucky and I could salvage it, but it would take an extra like 10-ish minutes, and I hope I don't run into that scenario. Alright, now we're gonna open up the next part here. We're gonna go to
I don't remember his name either. He's like
the next dude.
He's a cardinal, and we haven't really gotten into why cardinals are in the city or whatever. Basically, the city has like a mechanical god called Zenith, and the cardinals are like the highest people in this game, or like this world, following a guy called Rowan, who gets important later. He's like the main villain of the game. That's not even a spoiler because it's really obvious from the start. And we're doing tasks for a bunch of cardinals, and they have ridiculously dumb tasks at the very start for you. Like, go fetch me a statue. Go place a flower. Go fetch me wine.
Right.
That is pretty much half the game. Really dumb missions until you actually get into the story.
Yes. And also, as you might have noticed, I did a small mistake there and placed one of the hexes too far up, which got me a cosmetic random item, which I didn't want. But too late now. Alright, now we're going to go back down and we're going to go to the Forest of Idols. Thanks to the terminal that we used earlier, connected to the power station and the forced encounter, we got a lot of item drops, which means we get a lot of energy hexes, which makes it even possible to go there without having to fight a bunch of extra enemies. So, as you can see, different color yet again. Gotta open up the way to the next elevator here. Just gonna bring us to level 5. Might seem weird since we went to level 6 earlier, but
that was for like the main elevator, which is a bit different from these scattered elevators.
Yes. And also, you don't always go to like floor 5 and then floor 6, as you saw earlier. As we went straight to floor 6 in chapter 1 to do a mission, and now we're gonna go to chapter 5 to do a mission.
Floor 5.
Alright, just picking up a bunch of stuff here. Grenades, Molotov cocktails, and some other stuff. Energy hexes on the way. Speaking of grenades, that reminds me that I need to equip the grenade box here.
So grenades in the early game are pretty OP, because
yes,
they do star.
Oh. So I'm just gonna target this guy. Grenades, even if you jump, you're gonna hit whatever is in front of you. So even if I was to jump, I would still hit his armor first try, which is kind of inconvenient, but it is what it is. So we took out the dudes, now we're gonna take out the dogs. Unfortunately, this guy didn't die to the splash damage, so we'll have to run again. It is possible to do this in one run, but it's a little bit RNG dependent. Kind of difficult. Right, we used a couple more grenades than I would have liked, but it's not the end of the world.
Well, yeah, what you will see Nev do in a lot of these encounters is trying to kill multiple enemies at the same time, because every time you shoot you get an animation which slows you down.
Yes.
And later on you'll see him try to position enemies on purpose as well to get double scratch on them, to make it easy as well, which is way more difficult than just throwing grenades.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't expect to get a lot of the double scratches or even the triple scratches, but I'll try them anyways because it doesn't lose time to try. Alright, gonna switch off the med pack here. We gotta use his gun soon anyways, so I'm just gonna run here with Zephyr. I could run there with Vacheron, but they would target Vacheron if I ran with him first.
Just about had it with these sprites.
Alright, so similar to the power station, I'm just gonna shoot this barrel, blow up a lot of enemies here, get back my hero gauges.
I have a few donations to read if you want.
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna go through these areas here.
We've got a $10 donation from Coffee saying, "Let's see the best game at ESA this year, Pringles." And we also have a $20 donation from Anonymous saying, "Hey Nev, gotta show some representation for those hashtag TWNF scrubs. Here's your reminder to kill the final boss with Dong, or your run is invalid. Let Nev choose where this goes. As always,
Pringles.
hashtag free Leo."
Pringles. We gotta get Pringles into this marathon. Alright, this fight can be a little bit tricky. I need to position this somewhat precise. Jump not too early, not too late. I want him to still target Greenbelt, which you can see under his actual health bar. We'll have a letter in there, which says R. In the English version, like if it was English text, it would say L for Leanne. Also, on this boss fight, it's important that I break all the armor parts, because otherwise, this is gonna be really bad. I need to break all the armor parts because I need to scrap them later, and then I need to, and then I get a lot of good ammo from doing that. But right about now, it doesn't look too good. And I actually threw a grenade too. There's still one armor part, which I would really like to break right about now. There we go. Alright, this should be the kill here. Yeah. We broke all the armor parts and we killed them relatively quickly. Could have been a little bit faster if I got a little bit more lucky with the armor hits. It is doable with bat drops, but I would rather not risk that. So I'd rather take an extra 10 seconds to be safe in a marathon because I can't reset.
Yeah, basically the whole scrapping items is really precise as well. You need really specific drops. Later on, it's really important we get 3 drops at least from some enemies.
Yes. If I don't get them later on, I will just go in between the 2 zones and respawn the enemy, and then fight it an extra once or twice to get all the stuff that I need. So after the boss, I escape hexed out, and now we have to go back into a different part of this forest to talk to Jean Paulet.
Jean Paulet, the best Cardinal in this game.
Yep.
He's very eccentric.
I believe he's voiced by the same person that voices Sheldon in Big Bang Theory, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
But yeah, so I had to get back in, and then we just went back out immediately with another escape hex. I bought 11 in the beginning. Assuming I don't get too many random encounters, I can just use one on every random encounter and use one on every story-related boss.
So we're coming up on one of the worst missions in this game.
Yes, Chapter 4.
Chapter 4. Like, you saw us skipping a lot of rooms with enemies, and in this chapter we can't do that at all because we have to escort a statue for Jean Paulet.
Escort missions are always great, no matter what game they're in.
Definitely.
Absolutely not.
Especially Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4 is just a big escort mission.
Exactly.
It's awful.
Alright, we're gonna go straight back to the Forest of Idols. And we're gonna have another encounter here. I'm a little bit low on grenades, so... targeting. This is what I was saying earlier about the targeting. Not always the best. Okay, this should kill off both of these guys on the side. Okay, I only have 3 left, which is kind of inconvenient.
What you might also see is the further away we are from an enemy, the slower the grenades and guns charge up.
Yes, that is correct. I think I hit the armor here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. We're just gonna do the small backup here. Oh no, I didn't hit the armor. I just realized. It's fine. We're just gonna scratch him real quick, get shot, and then just finish him off with Zephyr. Was unlucky because I didn't get a lot of hits earlier in the first fight. But we'll make do. Alright. So there's gonna be another forced encounter closer to the Forest of Idols. Which we'll not use grenades on, we'll just scratch them normally.
Just have a little message. Can I?
Yeah, sure.
So, little reminder that the incentive for presenting Pringles is actually ongoing. There is $55 left to meet the incentive. You have around 2.5 hours. So if you want to donate to see this marvelous speedrun, don't forget to donate.
It is an amazing game. You should all definitely want to see it.
It's the biggest meme ever.
It's the best game ever made. The second best game is Beethoven's Second.
This shouldn't take long.
But unfortunately, I'm not good enough in that game. But maybe we can get Shrimp to play that as well. After Pringles. Okay, anyways. Now we're back in the Forest of Idols. John Pollitt tells us that he wants us to escort the statue to the end of this area. Which we'll gladly do because we're bounty hunters and we're doing everything for money. Apparently.
We do everything for money.
Alright, it's important I skip Greenbelt's turn here and re-equip my metal-coated ammo. Because these are, well, mechanical enemies, so I deal a lot more damage. Alright, the reason I have to skip Greenbelt's turn is because I need to run here with Zephyr. And after that I need to run with Zephyr again, and that wouldn't work if Greenbelt still has a turn without me losing resonance. So I skip Greenbelt's turn early, because that lets me switch party members without losing resonance. Because I need to create this kind of triangle here. Even though I'm not shooting right now, it is faster to do it this way because I want another tri-attack here.
So he's gonna scratch all the enemies with Vacheron right now, and then just kill them off. At least.
Well, we'll try, because apparently armor hits. I'm just gonna cancel this one. Because unfortunately, Zephyr bonked, and he didn't kill the enemy because he hit all the armor. That's a small RNG part where I have basically no influence on. But oh well.
Well, at least you could save it faster compared to later levels.
Yes, absolutely. Alright. We're gonna use more grenades here, or rather Molotov cocktails. So we want to jump here, because jumping has a higher chance to direct kill these guys. I'm not 100% sure why, but as long as I hit them from the front, as you can see the armor is kind of cracked there. As long as I jump and hit them from the front, I have a very high chance to to actually instant kill them. Alright, need to make sure to not accidentally move here with Zephyr. Need to make sure to not accidentally switch targets either. So we're gonna push this barrel in here, and then we're gonna shoot the barrel once it is next to all the enemies. And the idea was to blow all of them up, but we got unlucky there. So we're just gonna scratch the rest normally.
You didn't get the shot off, unfortunately.
Yeah. Got the full scratch proc, the fog special.
Especially. So the full scratch is basically like you just scratch all armor and all health in one go. And what is the percentage for getting it?
Early on it's 5%.
I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I like it.
But yeah, that was a little unfortunate. But at least we made the enemy run towards Zephyr, so that's a start. So we're gonna do the grenade thing here again. Just gonna charge into these guys and chuck grenades at them. Ideally, I'll throw 4 here and kill all 3 of them, which is not exactly what happened.
Yeah, as you can see, this chapter is awful because of stuff like this.
Yes. Well, we're just gonna throw another one and kill it again. And we're just gonna scratch it. Just gonna run behind him normally so I don't have to jump. It's also more accurate, like your bullets are gonna be more accurate if you're not jumping. So if possible you wanna avoid jumping.
Yeah, later on you're gonna see him get another magazine for his weapon, which basically just
reduces my accuracy even more.
Yeah, but because he has so many bullets, it's better to jump sometimes because it just spreads out more and has a bigger chance of...
Alright, this is the hardest room in this area, as you can see.
Oh yeah, you'd also have to excuse me for a second. My phone is blowing up. I better go check out what's happening.
Alright.
Because of some stuff yesterday.
Alright, so the return of Caligula, yeah. Same boss as before.
Bigger chainsaw this time.
Yep. It's his final form this time. So we're just gonna run here with Vacheron. Just scratch him. And scratch him again.
Just when I thought I couldn't possibly get any better.
And then we're gonna run and scratch him again. And now that he's fully scratched, we're just gonna jump straight in with Zephyr and kill him.
And he's dead. So as you can see, we also get like parts of like little squares, rectangles after each boss fight.
Yeah, those are pretty much the item drops. So if you destroy armor, you have generally a higher chance to receive an item. Still not guaranteed. Even if you do not kill an armor part, or an enemy in general, if you just do a leader assault like I just did, there's still a chance to receive an item drop from one of those enemies / armor parts. It is not incredibly relevant, but we're gonna want a little bit of money to be safe. Generally, as long as we do not have to retry too often, there will be no money problems. But in the next chapter, we'll have to buy and customize a lot of stuff, so it's gonna burn a hole in the wallet.
You want me on offense or defense?
The hand goes both ways.
Also, this little chit chat in those fights, sometimes kind of hilarious.
It's just the entire game. Like when it's not serious, it's actually hilarious, which is more than half of the game.
Alright, this chapter done. Starting from here on, we get a cutscene before all of these skip chapter prompts.
Yeah, these cutscenes basically explain what Rowan, like the final boss, is up to, because...
Whoa, spoiler.
I already spoiled that earlier, and like I said, it's really, really obvious. like his fiance was really big in the church and she died, and he is obsessed with resurrecting her. So all these cutscenes just kind of drive the story forward. What Nev is doing now is going to crank down to...
Now first I have to go back up to the rich part of the tower, where the rich kids are.
The chandelier part.
Yes. And we're gonna actually accept the next mission. And we will also open up a couple more hexes here, because I need a couple more hexes to make my way down there. So, whoops. We're gonna do this, which lets us... Controller, please. So, opening up the hexes here, or like in general, is kind of inconvenient because you use the D-pad to navigate through the menu on the left, and you use the analog stick to actually put down the hexes, which is really annoying sometimes, because doing any kind of menuing, which is based on 4 directions, is really awful with an analog stick.
It is.
So yeah, that's my second least favorite part of the game. But the targeting is definitely worse. Alright, so we're gonna go up to the first level here. This is actually a path that we're gonna take later on, because this blue thing over there, if you saw it on the right-hand side, that is the final area. I turned this a little too far. And we're gonna open up our way to there. What I did here is I placed the red station hex. They basically act as like safe terminals. You get a couple of them throughout the run. In the speedrun, you get exactly 2 red ones and nothing else. Casually, I think you have to turn them in for 10 of the respective hex's color. And then you get one. If you put one down, you can connect the respective color to them and basically save on normal hexes, which is really convenient in the speedrun. But the other thing is, I opened up that terminal that you saw on the left, and that terminal increases the burn damage I deal to enemies. So, similar to the power station earlier, I will later on connect that terminal to the final area to get an increase in burn damage that I deal. And that's actually very important, because the damage that I deal later on will be insane. And otherwise, the final area would be insanely difficult. But it kind of trivializes it to an extent that, unfortunately, it doesn't go beyond AI, enemy AI. Because if I position my characters wrong, then I'm still gonna be screwed.
Yeah.
Alright, now that I've got all that, we're gonna go all the way down and take the second core lift. This is the first one. It links the levels 1, 2, and 3 to the levels 4, 5, and 6.
Which are called the upper levels. Then you have like lower levels where less rich people live, and then you have like the lowest levels, which are also the most dangerous areas in the game in terms of like encounters.
Alright, so all the hexes that I opened up earlier are, as you can see, like, the further it goes to the bottom of the list, the more quote-unquote rare they are, or the later you get them in the game. I opened up a lot of stuff on level 1, which gives me a lot of quote-unquote rare stuff. Those, like, completely straight hexes are pretty hard to come by. So I get exactly 4, which is really convenient for the run, because there's going to be 4 spots where I'll be using them. And the other ones are just going to be used in an efficient way to avoid chests that I don't want, and to get the chests that I do want at the same time. So we're going to place another one here. And then if you look at the right-hand side here, it's kind of awkward to place any kind of hexes here, unless you have the proper ones. That is the reason why we opened up a lot of stuff on the first level, because otherwise this would be really hard to open up properly, and it would probably cost a lot of hexes.
I think I messed up one of your practice runs by placing hexes wrong, because you wanted me to try it.
Yes. And that was not fun. But yeah, we'll have exactly one of these left every time at this point, and we'll have exactly one of these left every time. So we're gonna place these here. Opening up the elevator like this also gives us the chest at the same time, which we will need for the upcoming boss. So then we're gonna open up our way to Cranktown here. And now we're gonna do a lot of menuing. And hopefully I don't mess this up. Alright. So we have to remove the attachments. The fastest way to do that is hold the right analog stick up and press triangle. Alright, what are we gonna do? We're gonna scrap these. We're gonna scrap this, 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 this. We got exactly 5 of these, which is convenient, and I think we got everything here. Perfect. We scrapped everything. Now we're gonna buy. We're gonna sell a couple more things, which we don't need, and then we're gonna buy more escape hexes, and we're gonna buy 6 custom kit sets, which we'll need for customization. And that's what we're gonna do here. We want 5 of these high mount sights, 2 prototype mounts. We're gonna use one of these to make one of these. 3 short sub-birds. 3 flash sub-barrels. I'm a little bit short on money because I forgot to sell some stuff, but that's not the end of the world. Alright. Even without selling all of the extra stuff, I almost had enough money, which is actually impressive.
Finished already?
Alright. Now we're gonna put all the stuff back on. In theory, it would be faster to leave some of the things on, but it's kind of easier to just remove everything and then add one extra thing, especially because it's faster. We're gonna add these prototype mounts here because we want to add another row of what's it called? Sights. Because sights increase the charge speed, which is basically determining how quickly the weapon charges, yes, and how quickly you can shoot at stuff. Barrels increase charge acceleration, which determines how quickly each consecutive charge charges. Alright, we're gonna place Zephyr here, unequip his medpack. We got 60 ammo here, which is important. So these hollow point rounds, they increase the damage done to humanoid enemies, which these count as. So we're just gonna run behind them. Front part is filled with armor, and even if you jump, it's incredibly difficult to hit the body parts. So we're just gonna run behind them. It's gonna be the main approach for these guys. That was quick. When I was saying earlier that we needed to destroy all the armor parts of that one boss, that was so that we get all this ammo. Because I scrapped all of the armor parts that I got, and then I got all the ammo.
I have one donation if you want.
Yeah, sure.
We have a $55 donation from Das Yorkie saying, "Hey there, this is just your friendly chat mod dropping by to take you over the threshold for the Pringles percent. Nice and early. Good luck in the run." And indeed, we just arrived at $400 out of $400 for the Pringles incentive. So you're going to play this at the end of the run.
Alright. I hope you guys are gonna enjoy it, because I promise you it's the best game ever. Alright, I'm just gonna shoot this guy. Normally I don't necessarily have to, but I want to be safe, so I get this one armor part, this one hero gauge from destroying the armor. So, similar to all the previous rooms in the different areas, we're just gonna run through here. Not do a whole lot. Not even gonna shoot this guy. Because the next room is a forced encounter, and I need to move Rinbel just very slightly forward. We're gonna move all the way forward with Vacheron. scratch these 2 dogs on the way. Perfect. And then we're gonna use Zephyr with awful targeting to kill off the 2 dogs. I'm gonna shoot right before I hit this guy, so I destroy his armor and I don't have to switch targeting. Because as you might have noticed, targeting a different enemy mid-run kind of introduces a lot of lag. And I would like to avoid that if possible. So we're gonna scratch this guy now. And set up for another tri-attack here. And we're also gonna scratch the dog. And now we're gonna kill off with a tri-attack here. Ah. Oh. That is actually very unfortunate. It's okay, we're just gonna finish off these 2 scratch ones and then we're just gonna run. That was a misinput. I accidentally cancelled the hero run of Vacheron. Alright, we got a full scratch here. Fog style. And we're just gonna finish him off.
That is the only reason why I'm here, is just to get those full scratches from them.
But yeah, this is one of the reasons why Takeshi's run is so good. He barely did any mistakes in his run, so he pretty much got all of these setups perfectly for the most part.
He also got like a lot of triple and double hits.
Yes, and especially in a marathon setting, that is quite difficult. And to be fair, I practiced Pringles a little bit more than this game.
You don't say.
A little bit.
I just wanted to make sure that if it gets in, it's gonna be good. But then again, it's still really like difficult and optimized game. All right, gonna shoot this guy in the back. Hopefully, there we go. Get the shard back.
I thought you were calling Pringles optimized. I was like, that's not true. The game is trash.
Whoa. Alright. Not gonna get a shard here because these dogs have 2 pieces of armor and they're both pretty sturdy, so they have a lot of HP. So just gonna run through without generating a shard. And now we are going to place Rinbell here, move him forward. Scratch this guy in the back. I had to jump there because he didn't move, so I needed to jump and hit him from the back.
Else he would have hit his armor instead.
Yeah, but I got a lot of charges off and I have the ammo, so that makes it very unlikely for me to not fully scratch him regardless. I just need to hope that I can actually hit the actual body parts instead of hitting the armor 24/7. There we go, good. Because I could have potentially just shot at him 5 times and all I hit was armor. Because they have so much of it. Alright, I need to do a little bit of menuing here. I need to get into this random encounter.
Very
okay,
important.
that's a quick one. It's RNG manipulation. Okay, I need to get into the menu here. Change the order of these 2. Unequip this. Change the weapon on him. So I changed pistols between Rinbell and Zephyr, and I also equipped the first aid kit on Rinbell because Zephyr is gonna disappear after
this fight.
After this next fight, yeah.
Yeah, like you can't always use tri-attacks because there's some solo missions and some duo missions.
Alright, crack this guy to destroy his armor part. And now we're gonna run in between the 2 again. Gonna hopefully interrupt him. Nope, never lucky. the targeting again. So we're gonna scratch the gremlin. And then ideally scratch this guy fully. It's not even close to full. Yeah, most of the bullets just didn't go into him. Alright, try attack time. We're gonna go this way, because that puts us closer to this guy. And closer to the dog as well. Unfortunately, didn't fully scratch him. But we can just jump and do it again. Alright, that should be it. And that should scratch him, not fully. So as you may have noticed, sometimes the characters have different shoot animations, and I was hoping that I would get the proper one here, but I did not, so that made it a little bit awkward.
Super unlucky.
Yeah. As Nev said earlier, these enemies are super bad if you're not directly behind them, so you will just hit the armor.
It's okay, I just shot through the small gap in the armor and now we got it. That was a little bit awkward, but we still made it through. Alright, now we're just gonna go to the boss, which is unarguably the hardest boss in the run. So I'll need some serious time here.
Alright, this boss.
I can read your every move. Possibilities are endless, and I like it.
Just kidding. It's literally the freest boss in the run. Alright, so now Zephyr will have disappeared. This is why we put the first aid kit on Rinbel so we can escape Hex out of this. Otherwise we would have to go all the way back, and that would take forever. So now we're gonna deliver the wine that we got to the bar.
Like all these Cardinals just use us as their delivery boys, pretty much.
Yeah. At least in the first half of the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's also like really dumb missions later on, especially Nev's favorite chapter.
Don't remind me. I'm just gonna skip it. I'm just gonna load a save file of the next chapter.
No PB.
But yeah, like somewhere in the middle around chapter 10 or so, the actual story gets rolling a lot. What you haven't seen is the game actually started with Vashron killing Zephyr in a church, because Zephyr was killing a lot of people there, and Vashron was already a bounty hunter at that point, so he was gonna kill Zephyr, but Zephyr didn't die. And this is kind of like the theme of your party, where all three of them should have died, but they didn't. Like, Vashron had an encounter with some legal lolly demon, succubus kind of thing, which he survived, and it put the succubus vampire thingy into a childlike mind state kind of thing. And
typical Japanese things.
Yeah. And Roundbell actually tried to commit suicide for reasons we'll explain later. And Zephyr saved her, and then she chose to live with Zephyr and Vashron to do bounty hunting.
Basically, just praise the machine god, please.
Yeah, the machine god interfered in all of these deaths.
Alright, so coming up in this chapter, we're actually going to change outfits on Zephyr. Rinbel is sick from the trip that we did, and we're going to get some medicine for her in exactly the same place. And we're going to switch clothing on Zephyr, which may seem completely irrelevant, but it's actually really important for the run. And we're gonna go grab one of these quests at the guild. Whoops. Didn't equip a weapon on him yet. That's why I got the prompt that I have nothing that deals direct damage.
Now, the reason it's important is because you get a specific item, I think, if you change outfits, which we need for the speedrun.
Thank you, game. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so this quest that we're about to do is going to give us the drum bearer magazine for the SMG. And
I remember this.
That is pretty strong. I'd almost go as far as saying it's the second best barrel in the game. Or like magazine, rather.
This is what you forced me to play.
Yeah.
So far I didn't get forced to play, so that's good.
Oh.
Don't worry, you'll get to play the Christmas chapter.
No, thank you.
Alright, so we have a do-it chapter, which means we cannot do hero run here. So we're just gonna full scratch him. Fog style.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which means we're not even gonna bother with Zephyr until I fully scratch this guy as well. Now we're just gonna do it all at once. So generally these human type of enemies have really weak armor pieces. So they have 5 or 6 HP, which means I can just shoot through them. So as you saw, I just got a double kill there. Because I was targeting the one behind, and I just shot the one in front, and the remainder of the bullets just went to the one in the back. I'll be trying a couple of those things throughout the run. They're really precise and difficult sometimes, so like I said before, I do not expect to get a lot of them.
Chad is talking about the free ice cream we're getting at the hotel.
Yeah, that's great.
Shoutouts to this venue, it's amazing.
I think I've been living off ice cream, popcorn, and just fast food this whole ESA.
More or less, yeah.
Sounds about accurate.
Alright, this is the quest that we have to do. Which is all about fashion. And what he wanted us to do is be fashionate. So that's what we did. We came here in Zephyr's B clothing. And that way we got the drum barrel. As you saw, it takes up a lot of space on the customization grid. But at the same time, it gives us almost twice the amount of bullets that we normally have. And if you add 1 and 1 together, that's a lot of bullets and a lot of damage.
Also, if you're wondering, that was totally Professor Xavier from X-Men. And now, like I said before, we have to go back to the same place that we were in just now to get the medicine for Rainbow. And conveniently, we already did all the forced encounters, which means we can just skip almost everything in there, except for one room. And that's exactly what we're gonna do because we want to go fast.
Gotta go fast. Yeah, while we're doing this, I think this is a good point to talk a bit more about the story, because it's a bit convoluted and stuff. Apart from Rowan, who is, like I said, the main villain of this game and basically the highest Cardinal with control over the machine god Zenith, there's a guy called Sullivan who will get really important. You do a bunch of missions for him as well. And shoutouts to Full Scratch.
So that's not gonna fully scratch. That's fine though. Just gonna shoot him again. The targeting is killing me here. That might fully scratch him. Yeah, there we go. Alright, now we're just gonna use Zephyr to kill all of these. Might even get the double kill here. Nope.
Here goes. Time to die. Eat this.
Shoutouts to the shoutouts to the shoutouts. Alright. And back into Silver Canyon.
So yeah, Sullivan is important because he's kind of like a scientist guy. You could call him a mad scientist in a way. He has done a lot of experiments for Rowan and the church, where we haven't really gotten into this, but basically every human's lifespan in this world is bound to a quartz.
But no bite.
That was almost convenient.
Almost.
I'm gonna get shot in the back, and they're gonna stop me a lot. But it doesn't matter. So another thing I didn't mention before, obviously enemies also deal damage to you, but they only deal scratch damage to you. The thing is though, if your entire health bar is scratched, you will lose an amount that is equal to 1 out of 1,000 of your health in your hero gauge at the bottom. So that means if you have less than 1,000 HP, it's going to round up to 1. If you have more than 1,000, it's going to round up to 2,000, etc, etc. And if you have no hero actions left at the bottom, then you're going to be in critical condition, and it looks really funny, but it's really bad.
Basically, your whole team will be panicking.
Yes, and that is also the point when you actually start to take real damage instead of scratch damage. From that point onwards. The same rules still apply. If you destroy armor, you get shards back. But the empty hero gauges can actually break if enemies hit you during critical condition. So you could technically lose all of them, and even if you hit an enemy after that, you're not getting anything back.
That's the quickest.
Hopefully you will not actually see that, because that would be really bad, but we'll never know.
Let's just hope it doesn't happen.
Also, again, just using Zephyr to run through most of these, or like all of them, partially because of how the AI acts, and partially because I need to destroy armor pieces to get back shards. And Vacheron can't do that because he can only scratch.
I hope you put up a better fight than the last bunch.
That was not my intention. But it doesn't really matter too much.
Too slow.
Oh yeah, since chat is talking about food and pizza, do you want to give a shout out to Domino's?
Domino's is sponsoring this event with like a voucher that is applicable in all of Sweden. So if you're Swedish, you can get a discount on all your deliveries from Domino's.
By using the code ESA 2018, I believe.
Yep.
And it only works on online delivery. I tried.
Yes, only on online delivery, and it's a 20% discount on all pizzas. To be fair, it was 15 at the beginning of the marathon, but there was something like a glitch, and for a small period, the pizzas were actually free.
Nice.
So we reported that, and they raised it. They raised it to 20%. So. Oh yeah, and they also sponsored all the pizzas for the tech crew. So all the tech crew actually got free pizzas during all the event.
And most of them can't see pizza anymore, so...
Okay, so before I went into this fight, I switched Vacheron's and Zephyr's positioning, or like order rather. Because I need enemies to behave in a certain way here, and that wouldn't work if Vacheron was the first party member and Zephyr was the second. Also, I kind of messed up and almost didn't get the full scratch, so what we're gonna do now here is I need to back up a little bit more because this guy is just not moving, conveniently enough for us, but I need to shoot him in the back and he's in a really bad spot for that. So yeah, Targeting a little bit finicky there. Armor piece is a little bit annoying there. Alright, we got that. As you noticed in the beginning of this, I didn't fully scratch the dog because some of the bullets just didn't hit. That was unfortunate, but nothing I can do about it. So I just had to shoot an extra 3 times, I think it was, with Zephyr to get rid of the remaining HP.
So yeah, just another message?
After this boss.
Okay, no problem.
Alright, so the second hardest boss. What we're gonna do is, another reason why we changed order is we want to position Zephyr there. And then run behind this guy with Basher on. Gonna shoot him twice. We don't need to blast it. That would actually take more time than just canceling it and shooting him normally. Alright, go ahead.
So yeah, we were talking about food, but there were also drinks that were provided at the ESA, courtesy of Red Bull. Red Bull that's giving ESA wings and making sure the runners stay hydrated for their runs during all the event.
Next time, more Red Bulls though.
Yeah,
we need
it ran
more.
out relatively quickly. I think 3 days, and then it was all gone.
Yeah, apparently we decimated like 4,000 cans in almost no time.
Alright, now we just gotta go all the way back to Bell City, to our hideout. I'm just gonna spam escape hexes here. Except for the really simple combat terrain where the exit is right behind me. Then I might not do it. Because it's still faster to use an escape hex even if the exit is right behind you. But sometimes I check it first because, like I said earlier, I buy a lot of them, but I can run out if I get too many random encounters. So you want to have about 6 left by the time you get to chapter 9?
Yeah.
It doesn't say in the notes.
Just checking.
I'm not even using them. They're pretty useless right now.
I'm gonna read them.
Alright.
I don't know anything.
You know how to do chapter 6 and 7.
Yeah, but you didn't even give me
5
the
and
controller.
6. Oh, I'm sorry.
So now we brought Reinbeld Madison, so we have her back in our party, which is great.
And now we're going to the Quartz mine. Which is the part where, like I said before, there's a part where I might not get enough drops. So if that happens, I would like you two to actually pay attention to the drops on the side because I'll have to do the try attacks, so it might be difficult for me.
Yeah.
Normally in a run, I'll just reset, but that is obviously not an option here. I do have a safety save prepared just in case stuff goes horribly wrong, but I would rather not load that.
Oh yeah, real quick shout out to British Tea in chat. Red Bulls were actually 4 days underestimate.
But yeah, like regarding the quartz, like I said earlier, quartz is what determines how long you live in this. If your quartz breaks, you die. Our heroes don't know that at this point, but it's really hard to find your own quartz if you're an adult. Well, I think for children, it's easier to find for some reason. I don't think it's properly explained much.
Yeah, I honestly, I do not really remember anything about the stories.
And the whole quartz thing, like Sullivan experimented on 20 children, making 1 child die each year by breaking their quartz. Or manipulating it so it breaks exactly on the birthday. So like the first child died on the first birthday, second child on their second birthday, and so on. And one of our party members, Reinbeld, is actually the 20th child of that experiment, which is why she tried to commit suicide at a point.
So basically we are literally saving children in this game.
Literally.
Yes. And we're going to the quartz mine where there's like a military guy who found out about the whole quartz situation, and he kind of goes crazy about it.
He is literally crazy. Also, you saw me use another one of those red station hexes. This is the second and last one I'll be using. And that allowed us to save a couple of hexes. Because like I said, a lot of them are picked up from chests. But there's a couple that are only gotten by killing enemies. And that is still RNG dependent. So generally you always have enough and you have like 2-3 spare. Assuming you do not misplace any, which I am trying not to do. That would be really unfortunate. There we go.
Oh yeah, chocolate sauce is apparently now available for the ice cream. This is not a drill.
Alright, I need to use one extra of these because I didn't have enough of the ones I used before. It's not a big deal, like I said, there's like 2 or 3 spare. Optimally, I would have liked to continue using those L-shaped hexes, but it's fine.
Oh, I also realized I have to leave in just a few minutes to go catch a train, so I'll actually go get ready for that now.
Alright.
So, thanks everybody at ESA, it was really fun this year.
Yep.
And hope you have a good run.
Thanks, and thanks for commentating up till now.
And make sure to do a good Pringles run.
I will. I will try my best.
Big applause for Fog.
Do you want me on offense or defense?
Well, yeah, it goes both ways.
Right.
I don't know.
Alright, and now we're on floor 11, I think? I always forget. I think it's 11 because this brings us back to 10, sorry.
Yeah.
Alright, we're just going to use one of these, and then we're going to use the remaining 2 of these. These are all hexes that I got from chests, which means they're guaranteed to be in my inventory unless I accidentally place them, in which case that would be terrible. So from here on, every hex that I place is guaranteed, and it's always going to be the same unless I screw them.
Which, I mean, it can happen because, like we said, the hex placement is kind of awful to navigate.
Yes. That way around. Oops. Hello, controller. There we go.
So we swapped party members again for like AI placement.
Yes. So we're still using the same ammo as before. Hollow point rounds. Again, dealing extra damage to humanoid type enemies. And these guys are obviously all humanoid type enemies. So just gonna scratch the 2 on the left, kill him with Green Belt, and then we'll do a try attack to kill off the other 2. There's a way to avoid him shooting at Vacheron, but that requires me to perfectly place Rinbel and Vacheron. Rinbel will just barely kill him off, because most of the bullets would have hit the wall. And there we go.
Hey, I'm just...
And we're at the Quartz mine without an encounter. Whew. So yeah, this is the part where I need some random drops. It's a 50% chance per armor that I destroy. I need 3 different parts. 2 of them I can get it as a backup later on. It'd still be amazing if I actually got them early though.
Cause much trouble, but don't let it catch you off guard.
No worries. I've got your back.
Alright. Just gonna skip most of these rooms.
Watch your
First we're using Zephyr, second we're using Rainbow. Because the way the AI works in these rooms, if I have this party setup, is that they will never attack me in a way that will be dangerous for me in any way. So we're gonna go to the purple room, even though it might seem a little bit out of way if you look at the minimap on the top right. But there's one very important thing that we need to get here.
Leave him to me.
Need to shoot this guy in the back to get another shard. His armor has approximately 10 HP. Uh-oh, this is bad. Not even gonna try. If I bonk in there, they will just chain me. It will just keep shooting and shooting and shooting, and I will be too low on HP in order to be able to live through this room.
Okay, that went.
That was much better. They're both gonna shoot at Zephyr now, though, which is unfortunate, because that might be trouble since they're both shooting at him, and that might stun lock me a little bit more than expected. But it might just be one of them. That's just.
Just a scratch. Just a scratch. Just a scratch. We're ready for
That's exactly what I was talking about. All right, we made it through. Whew. But yeah, I needed the ammo that I got from this, which is
freakiest yet.
metal-coated electro ammo. Basically, if I was to charge twice on this tank after he has no armor, I would fully scratch him, even though he has a shit ton of HP. Oh, fuck. Not exactly the way I planned this, but oh well. Alright, let's see. What did we get? I wasted one of the bullets, which isn't the biggest deal. Okay, I got
3 TKs, 1 8k.
I got most of the important stuff once already.
We need one more item basically, and then
You started all this.
everything bonus we get is also really good.
So gonna hero run pretty late here. Gonna jump over this pretty late. You can make it without bonking, which doesn't really make a difference, but you just want to get behind the thing, basically.
Stones, aren't they?
You think there's a stone for everyone down here?
You think I care?
Alright, it's important that before I start this hero run, I need to actually move with Vacheron, because if I don't do that, both of these will target Vacheron, and that is incredibly bad. So we will just get annihilated. Yeah, I think that was all parts, right? Yeah.
Yes. As you can see, like one tank did more than half of our HP and scratch. And that's not good.
But yeah, as you can see, I scratched twice, and I charged twice, and the thing's fully scratched. Gotta charge a little bit more often on the armor parts, though.
We got them all.
Yeah. I just gotta hope that I actually get what I need. Let's see, what do we get?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay. I'm gonna spawn into the enemy here because that is really bad. That's what I was talking about. It's RNG. It's also RNG whether or not the enemy spawns. So I'm just hoping that it doesn't take too long.
Can we not fight them?
I'll give it like a minute for one spawn. It's kind of unfortunate, but I have to do this because without those upgrade parts, the entire thing is gonna be insanely tricky. Okay, I unequipped the armor because I cannot afford to use up all of these metal-coated electro bullets. Didn't fully scratch him. Here we go.
I won't take that lying down.
I got at least one item there. I just don't know which one it is.
It's hopefully exactly the one we still need.
Something useful?
Yeah, I got 3 TKs.
I'd love to see if I got an arm, but we'll just say I got one. Oh. So I retried here because I accidentally moved with Rinbell, which would have changed the enemy AI in a way that I don't want. I really should have paid attention on the first tank, because I didn't see if I got one of the arm thingies, which is the important part, really. Alright, this fight is pretty straightforward. We are going to equip this ammo, which is hollow point electro ammo.
Because he's a human, so...
Just gonna run straight into him, scratch him, jump, shoot again.
Our victor died because his men failed him. And your men died because you failed
And
them.
it's almost as difficult as the previous two bosses we fought. But yeah, this is an unskippable cutscene, if you want to call it like that. It's just gonna talk for a while.
Grandma,
So,
that you? My grandpappy too. Where you been hiding all this time?
yeah, this guy's a bit obsessed with his grandparents. He does everything his grandmother says. Even though she's probably not alive anymore. So we're gonna escape here again, because we killed the boss and going back slow, so...
Yes, and it will be a shock and surprise whether I got everything I need or not. I definitely got enough of one of them, which means I can scrap it and then get a lot of ammo from it, which I will then convert into the proper ammo. So basically the way scrapping works is you get exactly the materials back that you spent. So if I was to scrap hollow point ammo, I would get exactly the materials back for hollow point ammo. The only thing is that it will cost you money. So if you make something, it's the wrong stuff, you can just scrap it again if you really wanted to.
Yeah, and you won't run out of materials, you'll only run out of money at some point.
Alright, let's see. Scrap these. Alright, perfect.
So, by the looks of it, we got all the 3 parts that we need.
Yes.
Yes.
Materials are always welcome.
This is what Nev had his backup save for, because these drops can be incredibly dumb to get.
We need to make 6 of these protective pads. I need to make 1 of these. 1 of these, 1 of these. Actually, the first one I made just turns into the second one. But that's basically it. And I need to make 1 of these adapter handguards. I didn't get 2 of them, which is unfortunate, but I will get a backup later on. I'll also buy an extra 2 escape hexes here.
So protective pads we're getting because the enemies are gonna hit us even harder, and as you can see we're fairly low level with like level 17. And just to give you an approximate, you fight bosses like level 140-ish at the end of the game. So Nev is just gonna modify his weapons.
The right materials are always welcome.
Yeah, one more thing that I didn't make earlier. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay,
These are dark
I'll just make it later.
You take care.
It's fine. Alright, that worked out better than expected. I also didn't forget to customize, that's another thing. So I got 7 escape hexes since I bought an extra 2. I'm gonna keep them for now. I'm just gonna escape these encounters normally. Which is kind of annoying, but I got so many already that I used up a lot of hexes. Money isn't exactly tight anymore. I could have bought more escape hexes, but there's 750 each, and I will have to buy a couple of things later, so I'll spend some money there.
So people are asking if JP text and English voice is the fastest setup. It
No.
was an incentive, so...
Yeah, it was just incentive. You guys decided, basically.
I mean, Nev kind of sniped the language there.
Yep, I did, because I didn't want to play this in German.
Yeah, the German translation of this is awful. Really, really awful. As it is with a lot of games.
Yes.
Just... You don't really want to play this on German, even if you're German. We can't confirm this because we're both German, so...
I also have never played this in German, so with German text, so that would have been a little bit awkward.
Yeah, he might have gotten the wrong ammo or whatever on accident.
No, I think I can translate that on the go, but yeah, you never know.
Sometimes the translation just doesn't
It's
make any
just
sense.
awful. Yeah, the text and language doesn't matter. The text and audio doesn't matter.
Like, when I played this with Japanese audio, because the English audio is also kind of awkward at times. But because Nev said he'd play out one specific cutscene later, that is hilarious.
I mean, I can do it. I might go overestimate because of that, though. But it's worth it.
It is worth it.
Alright, so good old Peter, the guy that we went to in the very beginning.
And brought him his quartz.
Yes, he's kind of asking Reenbill on a date because he's really into her.
And he's paying for it, so technically,
Yes.
you know, it's not a date.
Doesn't matter, we're gonna follow them and check out the situation.
Bad encounter luck.
Really bad encounter luck.
This isn't worth getting killed over.
So usually you don't get an encounter before the cone here.
Alright, it's awkward. This is really awkward.
Running away with my tail between my legs isn't really my thing.
Forgot to make the ammo.
I was wondering, but...
I hope I can make it here now, but I'm not 100% sure because that's actually not happened before. If not, then, well, we just wasted 1 minute and I'll have to make do with the worst ammo. It's not that big of a deal. I have enough to make it work, but I'll have to take a detour to Albano.
If you need something
Please tell me it
crafted,
works.
I'm your man. If you need anything else, you know where to find me.
There's nothing in this wide world can't be broken down for scrap. Be seeing you.
I can't make it here, so saved.
If you need
Making
anything
36
else,
of
you know where
these.
to find me.
It's just a better version of the Hollow Point ones.
I have a little message to pass
Sure, go
on.
ahead.
So we would like to thank one of our partners, which is ViewSonic. ViewSonic is supporting the event with the use of monitors for the streaming area and a large amount of the practice monitors, and obviously with minimal latency for the speed and accuracy, which is purely needed in speedrunning. And they get gamers and they want to show their support to continue ESA to spread love to gamers in Europe.
Joke's on you, I'm using a BenQ monitor right now.
I was gonna point it out to you, but no. So in this encounter, ideally we'll get a double hit on some of these guys. Like...
Nope.
No.
Even if I switched to the better ammo, it wouldn't have done anything. It's really difficult to get the double hit, unfortunately. Targeting!
Targeting, no.
Okay, we got it anyways. Whew. But yeah, no, jokes aside, I used one of those ViewSonic monitors to practice, and they're actually really good.
Boring.
So in this mission, once again, you don't really get control of your full party since it's Reenbill on a solo mission and Zephyr and Vashron just kind of follow her. Which means we can't do tri-attacks.
Unfortunately. I'm just gonna spam these here. Then we're gonna use one of... Thank you. Gonna use one of these, and then we're just gonna go into this fight. It's exactly the same fight. So if you're not jumping, you need approximately 3 charges to fully scratch these guys. Okay, I got the double scratch there, which saves not a lot, but a little, because now I do not have to shoot an extra time.
And the targeting can't screw you over with that as well.
Might hit him?
You hit the armor.
Might hit him? Okay, it should be a double kill as well. Can be.
They bit off more than.
Alright, and now we're at the Patertopolis, I think it's called.
Patertopolis, yeah.
And
we're just watching.
we're being
her
greeted by these dudes. So we're gonna try for the double hit here as well.
which worked out, so that's good.
Did work out indeed. Now we're just gonna see if we can get the double hit with Zephyr as well.
Ah, nice.
So yeah, the speedrun tries to make use of a lot of those kind of strats, but unfortunately they're really difficult.
Yeah, you need like a very precise angle, and even then the bullet spread can just screw you over with it.
And more importantly, you need to not forget them halfway through. So yeah, notes are mostly useless for this run. That's why I'm not really using any. I made some really bad ones earlier with a shopping list, just in case I forget, which I should have probably looked at, but...
Just imagine what they're doing right now.
Yeah, let's
Okay, so hopefully the AI will be not all attacking Vacheron. Okay, that works. More importantly, I need the tank to not attack Vacheron.
Yeah, tank does a lot of damage.
Alright, we're going back to the metal-coated electro thingy. We're gonna shoot this guy first. Didn't fully scratch him, doesn't really matter that much.
That
Bonked
was
straight into him.
unfortunate. Yeah, so this is a forced encounter room. As you can see, the way behind us is blocked. So we actually need to kill these.
I'm gonna bonk again. But not before I fully scratch him. He's gonna kill himself.
Works out fine, I guess.
Didn't get experience, didn't get the drops, so... It's a little bit awkward, but we'll make do. I did get the drop, actually. Didn't hit the armor on the back one, though, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, people are wondering about the difference between Xbox and PS3. There isn't really any other than graphics for a bit. I don't think anyone plays this on 360 though.
I think the segmented run was done on 360.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I need to really get rid of the back armor of this guy.
That was really unfortunate.
I don't want to waste all of my ammo, so I'm just going to use the other one for now. Alright. It's unlucky. That is one of the things I mentioned earlier with different attack animations. If Vacheron used a different animation for his attack, I would have hit him.
So we've got monsters to deal with too.
That Vader keeps some strange company.
Alright, I'm gonna switch to the proper ammo before I forget. So they're essentially pretty much the same ammo. One just has an extra, I think it's extra 2 points of damage per bullet. So the thing is, the more often you charge, the higher of a multiplier you have. That means that those extra 2 damage are gonna be a lot of damage. Alright, so ideally this guy is not gonna move because I positioned Zephyr in a specific spot here.
And he's just shooting through the gaps in the armor to fully scratch him, so you can kill him in one hit with Zephyr.
Again, AI manipulation.
Yeah.
That's good.
Also with this boss it can happen that you just keep hitting the armor, which is really annoying.
Someone wanted you to read chat, I don't know why.
So in this cutscene, Peter basically died because he attacked the goblin that you saw really shortly in a cutscene before Nev skipped it.
Yep.
And he had his quartz on the ring and he hit the goblin with it. The quartz shattered and he instantly died.
TLD Hari is an idiot.
Yes. Well, he didn't know that shattering the quartz will make him die. But, yeah.
I mean, he paid us a lot of money to get that for him, and then he just punches something with it.
I think
regardless.
I think he just figured it would be more stable.
We need you for 1 minute. Group picture. Outside. Now.
Okay, can we pause the timer? Okay. Alright. Be right back.
I'm just gonna keep chat entertained while Neff is gone. I don't. So that was it and all. He's one of the main organizers of this. Shoutouts to him. Shoutouts to all the people that have worked on this marathon to make it work. Shoutouts to the people who are still behind me. Shoutouts to Leva, who has been doing a great job at running the second stream. He's been doing it last year pretty much all on his own, and I think this year he had a bit of help from the other tech guys, but it was still mainly him. And it's incredible what you can do with one single person with the stream. It's amazing that we have the second stream, because we could move games from stream 1 to stream 2 if we fell behind schedule. We could actually fit a lot longer games, which means like JRPGs, into the marathon, which might have not gotten in otherwise.
Alright, I am back. That was that was weird.
Commentator does chat really have a wall for itself? Yes, but it's really awkwardly behind a CRT, so we can't see it all.
Alright, we stopped the timer, right? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh. Probably just skipped it right away. Okay, where was I now? Oh, yeah, right.
Peter just died. Oh yeah, this fight is awful.
It's difficult to do this properly, but I will try my best.
The targeting in this can really screw you, because usually you can do it very quickly, in like...
I had to jump here, otherwise I wouldn't have made it in time.
So ideally we can finish this in the try attack, but sometimes you just can't.
Especially not if you accidentally jump too early. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
unfortunate, but it's one more hero run and then it should work out.
And it's gonna be a double kill.
Or not.
Excuse me? Oh.
That was more fun.
So as you saw, we got a lot of access from that fight.
I need to go up first. That's actually very important, because if I go to Lucio right away, it's not gonna change. So I need to trigger the mission to actually change it. No, we were just taking the picture of the OG. However many people were at the very first ESA, and I've been at every ESA ever since. Alright, we're gonna go on the back side here. Open it up this way. Took those extra hexes just for safety. Alright, there you go. And we want these Molotov cocktails. And now we're going to Antolion.
Anturion.
I don't care.
So the Cardinals in this game are a bit split in terms of supporting Rowan, because he's been acting strange. And Anturion has history with Vacheron, because Vacheron used to be he used to be a Zenith Knight or something like that, which is kind of like the military in this game. And on one particular mission, everyone in his squad got killed except for him by the legal lolly succubus vampire demon whatever. And he managed to live because Zenith, the machine god, interfered. So Vacheron doesn't really want to talk to Anturion, and Anturion is kind of on bad terms with Rowan. But for some reason, Anturion still decides to screw you later in the game.
Alright, and he sends us down to... I think it is exactly where all of that happened.
Yeah.
Which is in Lucia.
Yeah, basically what Anturion is looking for is like what's it called? Like a godly sign that is left wherever Zenith interferes with a death. And because he figures that Vacheron only left because of the interference of Zenith, he sends him there to find the sign. There's a sign like that where Zephyr was supposed to die as well.
Alright, this is probably the hardest random encounter in the game. Like, forced encounter, rather.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at it, looks incredibly similar to the one we had earlier.
This one is incredibly hard to do efficiently.
So, optimally, I want to break this guy's armor, target the proper enemy, double hit here, but it took me slightly too long to do that, because the game just decided so. I also didn't fully scratch the first guy there, which is unfortunate.
So in the world record run, he gets like a triple scratch here, which
is...
yeah, it's almost impossible.
I think the word you're looking for is ridiculous.
Yes.
Alright, and now we're gonna do a try attack here, and hopefully we're gonna have enough time to fully scratch all of these guys. So it doesn't matter who I use to finish them off with. I'll just use whoever is first, because you get experience from hitting enemies, but at the same time, it doesn't exactly matter. I do need to jump with Greenbell though. I was just barely short. This is the first time I'm actually just standing still to shoot something. There's an instance where I will actually do that later on, but now I just did it to finish him off. Alright, back in Lucia. Time for the next random encounter. Oh, we made it without. Shockingly enough.
Yeah, so far we had really bad encounter luck.
So it's important that I actually angle my hero run very slightly here, because otherwise the middle guy would have shot me immediately.
Where's this sacred sign at anyway?
You'd think I'd be
So we're using Zephyr as a shield here.
Yes. This is pretty much exactly what happened in Chapter 1, just that Zephyr is on the right side instead of Greenbell this time.
That does it for them. Let's keep moving.
I'm right behind you.
It's the same area, just a bit different mobs.
Yes. Especially these two here.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
where the sacred sign is supposed to be?
So as you can see, they're like level 60, we're a lot lower level. Still easy to kill with the right setup.
Unfortunately, he's gonna shoot me though, but there's literally nothing I can do about that. Okay, so we're just gonna jump to the right here, shoot this guy first, who is fully scratched, and shoot this guy, who is also fully scratched, and there we go. Took about as long as the first fight in here, even though it was completely different.
Jumping affects your accuracy, so it does affect things.
Yeah, it also lets you shoot over armor. Or you have the potential to avoid armor when shooting at enemies. If I was to shoot this guy right now, just from the front, I would hit the armor. But if he had an open spot somewhere, I could hit his body part immediately instead of being stuck at hitting armor. So yeah, that's what jumping does.
This place must hold a lot of bad memories for you.
Oh, it does. This isn't worth getting killed over.
Alright, we made it. Alright, this fight can be a little bit tricky. In theory, it's pretty simple. I'm just gonna hold diagonally upright. I'm gonna move right here, cancel the turn, just shoot at this guy manually. Doesn't even have to be that long. And we'll use Zephyr to go all the way down here. And that should break off the... There we go. It should break off the tire, the armor part. So the boss switched target to Zephyr, which is actually important. And then we're just gonna run from the side. He still hasn't reached Zephyr because he's so slow and Zephyr is so far away, and Rinbell is just gonna finish the job. Alright, that one will.
Oh yeah, it decreases accuracy, which can help if you want more spread, but generally it's not a good thing.
Yeah, pretty much that. I need to make sure to not accidentally walk into another one of those cones. Be unfortunate. But yeah, you might have noticed I already had a path open to Lucia, but I opened up the top cone in particular because it's the fastest fight. It's also the most convenient fight because it resembles the enemy positioning of the previous couple fights that I was doing with only Zephyr and Vacheron. And those are really easy to manage in a way that lets you double scratch and shoot things from convenient angle.
So in this chapter, once again, we don't get our full party.
Unfortunately.
Because
Rainbow's like, Zephyr's gone! What are we gonna do?
yeah, and Vacheron just drags her along to where the opening cutscene that you didn't see played out. It's like a small church, orphanage, whatever, where Zephyr grew up.
Actually, hang on. I only have 6 bullets left, so I'm gonna use the ammo. Because I have 15 of these. It's easier to do the next forced encounter with the... Well, it's easier to do this encounter with the worse ammo, as opposed to the next one. Also, jumping later actually gives you more mid-air time, because you'll have the upwards momentum animation from jumping upwards, and then he has to fall down again. So if you want to get the maximum time out of your hero action, you want to jump at the very end, but sometimes that's not possible.
Helps with try attack as well if you're trying to delay like the last hits. You can jump with one character and hopefully get another attack in before he lands.
Yep.
I've never seen.
Oh yeah, the mechanic you're talking about is Smackdown, but it's not used in the speedrun because it's not exactly useful. Alright, it should be the one, right? Yeah, this is the one. So, this is one of the very few fights where I just stand here and do this.
So that symbol next to Ashron means we're behind cover, so for enemies to actually hit us, they have to break the cover first.
Coming back from this.
Or move behind it like that guy just did.
I accidentally shot the wrong guy. That's fine. As long as you're not throwing a stupid grenade at me, that's fine, because it's a shock grenade, and if that hits me, it might slow down my... Is he gonna move? Is he gonna move? He's trying to, anyways.
No double hit though.
I don't think double hit would have been enough here, anyways. I had to reposition myself very slightly here. Oops. And there was my last ammo. Which means it perfectly worked out. Alright. That's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Could have been very slightly faster if I didn't have to reposition, but I didn't get shocked and I didn't get shot either, so makes it relatively fast still.
Yeah. Wasn't too bad.
Like I said, and I've probably mentioned that a lot of times, but a lot of these things are just awfully precise.
Yeah, if you get the angle slightly wrong, it's completely different every time.
Gotta move out of here because I do not have a first aid kit equipped, which means I do not have escape hexes.
This could be interesting.
It's just one more, basically.
Targeting.
Yeah, I had to jump here because I couldn't target him early enough, so I couldn't shoot in between the armor parts. There we go. Since I have to jump, I don't have to charge as long, because not all the bullets, but most of the bullets are gonna hit. So that's the convenient part about it.
Zephyr's gone.
Zephyr's gone.
Zephyr's gone indeed. I wish he would never come back.
So Nev really hates Zephyr because he's somewhat of a crybaby. This is awkward.
Excuse me. There we go. Luckily, even if I misplaced one by accident, we have plenty of yellow hexes. I gotta leave this place, and then we gotta make it all the way back up to the 4th level.
So story-wise, Rowan Bell just found out that Zephyr is a murderer who killed a lot of people in that seminary thingy.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't know how to act around him anymore, because at this point I think she's kind of in love with him. For him saving her life and whatnot.
Zephyr seems like a good guy, no need to bully him.
He's, he basically killed everyone in the church because he didn't like religion, I guess.
Not sure you call that one a good guy. Sounds like a bad guy to me.
Running away with my tail between
But
my
yeah.
legs.
The next chapter will be...
Zephyr Zola chapter.
Yep.
It's
probably the hardest fight for most people.
Yeah, casually it's very easy to get stuck here because the boss has some unique mechanics to him.
Yes.
If you shoot him from the front, he teleports, which is annoying as hell.
It's speedrun wise, you cannot exactly get stuck here, but you can lose a little bit of time if you have to use the backup strat. But yeah, I'll explain it as I go.
Yeah, so this boss is Lagerfeld. He is a Cardinal, and he's the one who told Vacheron to kill Zephyr and overlooked like the sentence and Zephyr not dying. So he took it upon himself to kill Zephyr and called him out to meet him on the Rainy Bridge, which is where we're gonna go after equipping everything. The reason you can get stuck here casually is you usually don't level both SMGs and pistols on all characters. In a speedrun that's convenient because we're just gonna tank damage through leveling up our SMG. In casual it can be your absolute downfall.
Yep. Alright, so right now Zephyr is SMG level 1, which to most people would seem like a big problem. Firstly, I have to wait with shooting him because I need to shoot him from the back, otherwise he's just gonna teleport away. So now that he summoned his knives, which you saw like a second ago, I can shoot him from any direction I want because now he's not gonna teleport away since he's
doing an action, yeah. Oh.
Excuse me?
Oh boy.
Excuse me?
That did not.
He was in the middle of his animation and he just teleported anyways.
Yeah, usually he only teleports if he hasn't queued an action and you attack him from the front.
Battle is just a pretense to tell you the truth. What truth?
I might have accidentally hit one of the knives.
Something tells me this is just the beginning.
But yeah, now he's gonna hit me with the knives, and the next time I run at him again, I'm just gonna level up again, so I'll get all the HP back.
That's why in the speedrun it's kind of a blessing that your SMG is level 1. Because it level up so quickly.
Alright, that should make it? It might be a little bit close HP wise.
The only issue you can run into here is you may underdamage him if you miss a lot of bullets.
But even for that, there's a backup. I'm just gonna shoot once more just to be safe. But yeah. We got it. I don't know what happened in the first fight. He was obviously queuing up his knife attack, but he still
teleported.
Yeah, he still teleported. Also, we're gonna get a bunch of levels from this one here. Because we're gonna transform all of that into direct damage. And yeah, it's Lagerfeld.
So in this cutscene, Randbell kills Lagerfeld because Zephyr found out he accidentally killed his sister. And he just breaks down and wants to die. And Lagerfeld is like, yeah, I will gladly kill you. And then Randbell just kills Lagerfeld from behind. With one bullet. Which is ironic considering how many bullets we shot at him.
Yep. Alright, next chapter is... It's the one... So, there's a team of Zephyr and Rinbel and a team of Vacheron right now. I know a single dude isn't exactly a good team, but yeah, they're both on different missions, and they just so happen to... Oh, whoops. Can you do that?
Yep.
They just so happen to clash with each other.
So it's like Jean Paulet, our favorite Cardinal, is gonna wed his fiancée at a church. And Randbell and Zephyr got the mission to be the the body doubles to stand in and find out whoever wants to upset or like overthrow the marriage, because it's like a jealous ex-boyfriend or something of his fiancée. And Vacheron basically got the end of the job where the ex of the fiancée told him to go and interfere with the wedding.
Alright, I need to make one more of these. And I'll have to pick up the backup. Yep, have to pick up
If you
the
need
backup.
anything else, you know where to find me.
So this is like solo Vashron kind of thing.
One sec. I need to go back in there.
Yeah.
I'll make a couple safety ammo of a lower level,
If you
basically.
need something crafted, I'm your man.
Where are they? I hate this part. There. Alright, 5. I was too short on the good ones, so I just made 5 extra of the worst ones that I can use. Alright, we're just gonna equip the grenade box with electro grenades, like shock grenades, EX, which is the highest level of any like grenade or ammo. And we made exactly 8 because we're gonna use exactly 8 throughout the rest of the run. I didn't equip protective padding, did I?
No, you didn't.
Luckily the menus are pretty fast.
Resonance of Fate is definitely part of the Mario universe. What are you talking about, Chad? So yeah, we're just gonna go to the church with Vashron.
No, we're going to Square Garden.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, close enough.
Yeah. Again, trying to open...
I already opened stuff that I didn't want to open, but whatever.
It's just trying to open things efficiently, so if you opened it with a different hex, you might have gotten the chest animation twice, which loses time. You're on 205, by the way.
Gotta use an extra one. Doesn't really matter. Alright. Square Garden opened. I'm actually gonna go here twice. We'll be here now on our mission. On our solo mission. I'm going to be picking up... Good. Just wanted to make sure I'm going in the right direction. Alright, I'm picking up these hand grenades down here. And then we're just gonna jump up there. The next room is a little bit more difficult. It's doable without them shooting you, but it's actually really difficult.
The Duke's
unfortunate.
Almost.
Tried to sidestep it. Alright, so you might be noticing that I just use all of my hero gauges, but it doesn't matter. Because the next boss is free unless I do not stun him. So I need to gauge crack him, otherwise it's bad. I need to not run too late. That's another thing. Alright, let's go. When I first played this game, I struggled with this boss for 4 hours, I think. I didn't stun him, but I might stun him now. There we go.
Yeah.
Alright. So if I didn't stun him on the second hit, he would have turned around and I wouldn't have been able to hit the open spot anymore. Alright, I'm gonna let this play out. It should be doable.
Yeah, this is one of the best cutscenes in the game. Enjoy.
Boring.
I know. Jean Paulet left us a ring.
Sure. You mean this?
offer. As long as we're here.
Are you crazy?
Scaredy cat.
I am not.
What about the kiss?
Kiss?
This is also why I play in Japanese audio.
Kiss?
Not so fast! Nothing personal, but I need to borrow your bride. You and him and you? What the hell's going on? Daddy does not approve!
Us? What are you doing here?
Oh, this is a bit much, even for an old pro like me. But are we on different sides of the same job? How much he paying you? Get out! Oh, that's a Cardinal for you. Hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll pretend the two of you beat me.
Guess it was an incentive
You sure that wouldn't bruise your ego?
to have it plain English.
I doubt anyone would believe we beat you anyway.
Yeah, well, these days, you never can tell.
All right. Yeah, that was pretty much the best scene in the game, in my opinion.
I also like the shower scene.
Which one?
The shower scene in chapter 2. Where Zephyr just barges into the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
And I'd say Runner is a big weeb.
Hello.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Don't deny it. Yes, chat missed the shower scene. In chapter 2, your electricity goes out and your party member shouts and you just barge into the shower with your other party member.
The rest is left up to imagination.
Exactly.
Alright, better not go overestimate for show on that scene.
You think you'll PB? We'll have to see.
I don't know. Alright. This is personally my least favorite chapter. Do we have like 100 donations to read or something?
Well, we definitely have one for you. We've got Zoton2 with a $10 donation saying, "Thanks for letting me run my memes." But I do have a challenge for chat. I know this is meant to be the last run. I don't know if we're doing Pringles or not after it. So we'll be doing the biggest meme game of ESA, I think. But chat, I want to see if any of you guys can snipe the last donation of Stream 2. Like, that's a challenge for you guys. So try that one in the future.
Which one? Didn't Pringles get met already?
No, he meant like the last donation of the second stream in general. No incentive.
Yeah, that is so funny.
Alright, it's Christmas time.
Yeah, so one of the Cardinals asked us to hand out presents to children.
I'm not a fan of Christmas.
I said the hem was really teeny.
This chapter is awful. Because the children actually knock you down if you...
They block you really hard.
Take good care of it.
If you're unlucky, or if you run in a...
And it's only really efficient to do it with Rian Bell, because if you hand out presents with Vashron or Zephyr, they do only 3 damage, and as you can see with Rian Bell, we do 5.
Yep. So you pretty much have to use Rain Bell for every single present. The kids also run away from Vashron and Zephyr, but they're actually, you know...
Here they come, laughing it up.
They run towards her. She's a cute grill in
I don't know. These
an
corners are sharp.
outfit that you'd probably freeze certain parts of your body off if you wore it in winter. You also get a couple of nice skirt shots. And you can't queue up more than one present.
Yeah.
So.
It's always going to be one regardless. I haven't played this scene with English voices ever, I think. Alright, I need to open this, and I think the next one. What is just this one? It's this one and the next one.
We also get awful Christmas music.
It's funny, but I'm more nervous on this job than I've ever been.
Remember, just for show.
Think of all the people we make happy.
That's the spirit. Our little Leanne.
I think after this all the fun chapters story-wise end. And you actually get to do all the serious business.
That was actually kind of bad. I only got 2.
Yeah.
We're just gonna retry that because she would get dizzy in a second here, and
remember, just for show.
Think of all the people we make happy.
That's the spirit. Our little Leanne, making grown-up dreams come true.
if you think about that voice line just now,
yeah, adult dreams coming true.
Alright, I'm just gonna get out of here. This chapter is just really goddamn awful. And I think I'm gonna hit the wall.
Yep.
It's another reason why this chapter is goddamn awful.
Merry Christmas!
Okay, this is the last one.
Take good care of it.
Yeah. Well, while we're at it, I guess I'll just talk about the story a bit more.
While I am annoyed at this chapter.
Yes. So, in the next few chapters, what's gonna happen story-wise is the professor who was like the supervisor of the experiments made with all the children that Sullivan wanted done, actually let Randall go 1 year before her death day. And Rowan just let her go. And she wants to visit him because she kind of promised. And yeah, it turns out that a bunch of people kind of want to get rid of him, including Rowan. Because Rowan right now has a ring that can control Zenith, made by Sullivan, and for some reason he really doesn't trust Sullivan anymore, because Sullivan is hiding a lot of stuff from him, including the legal lolly succubus vampire demon. And Rowan only finds this out in this chapter when he actually sees Randall alive, even though she should be dead. And he gets really angry, because he's like, oh, why can't I use this to revive my fiancé then? And yeah, things get a bit messy, because Sullivan gives Randall's crystal, Quartz, to the legal lolly and tells her to shatter it if he isn't back in time. And your party fights Sullivan but doesn't kill him, and then Rowan shows up and sees if we can actually defy fate and kill Sullivan in cold blood. So Randall dies, presumably, because Sullivan isn't back in time. Rowan does this just to see if you can cheat fate. This is also why you actually end up going after Rowan, even though he's like the big person in this world.
Wouldn't it have been easier to deliver this the old-fashioned way?
I would have preferred the old-fashioned way.
Well,
the present delivery.
Yeah. Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Speaking of Amazon Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, a lot of countries are eligible for Twitch Prime as well. So you can use your Twitch Prime sub to freely sub to one channel. You can support ESA by doing that. Yeah. Other than that, Sullivan actually does not die when Rowan kills him because, again, Zenith kind of interferes. Where's the last?
There.
Yeah, that way.
Thought I wasn't near the area. I have to get to blue.
Oh yeah, the legal ollie that is with Sullivan is the one that almost killed Vacheron.
What's that?
Leading them all to their doom?
And Sullivan just kind of got attached to her, thinking he could use her for experiments, and then he just kind of, yeah, I don't know, fell in love with the legal ollie or something. Rip.
How many more? I feel a bit like the Pied Piper.
What's that?
Leading them all to their doom?
Zephyr, never!
About time we wrapped this up, if you ask me.
The dialogue in this is awful. In post-game, you can actually get to fight Sullivan and Rebecca, which is the legal ollie. Which is, I think, probably the hardest fight in this entire game.
I hate this chapter with a passion. Alright, now that we have this, we just have this guy up here, which is the only time you ever use Zephyr or Vacheron.
What is it? What is it? There's plenty for everybody.
I gotta just put my...
When is Christmas over? Soon.
And then it just straight up misses. I hate this chapter.
If they cut this chapter out and did the targeting better, this game would be like a solid 8 out of 10. Why do you hate Christmas, Neviutz?
Because I have to deliver presents to children.
Saving children, even in games.
With an annoying targeting system. There you go. I would have been insanely triggered if I actually missed that one.
Yeah, it kind of looked like it did.
Yeah. Alright, so we get presents as well, which we don't exactly need, but we're getting them anyways. Alright, so we're leaving this place, going to Basilica. Letting her run out is faster than skipping the cutscene, for some odd reason. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, this is where, like I said, Rowan spots Rainbell being still alive even though she should be dead. So he gets really suspicious of Sullivan and things unfold very messy.
Right, we just have to go all the way over here. One of the presents was blue hexes. And I wonder why. But you saw a number at the terminal, 36 out of 40, which means I have 36 out of 40 required hexes connected at the present time. And there we go. That's 40 plus. Which means that now this area that is connected to the terminal is going to get the terminal bonus, which is important, like I mentioned earlier.
The dramatic music from Christmas to this.
And all the way back down to the city. Alright, so after this chapter we're gonna go to Aethersil, which is... I think that is the area where...
Where Sullivan is, I think.
No, where the children were.
Yeah.
The 20 Quartz children.
Right. Oh yeah, something we haven't touched upon is why Rebecca even is a vampire succubus, whatever she is. The few people that survived outside of Basel, kind of mutated into other beings with superhuman strength and whatnot. And they were really angry at Basel because, you know, they got excluded and most of them died. Which is why Rebecca attacked Basel and then ran into Vacheron.
Right, one more cutscene here.
Another cutscene of Rowan being angry, like in every cutscene. So this game has 16 chapters plus the prologue, so we're pretty far into the game.
Yep. Sadly not far enough, considering the time. Alright, gotta go back up to the top area, because that's where we're headed. Doing some hex management, and then... Should unequip Rainbelt's weapon. Because that apparently also... that also interferes with AI manipulation sometimes, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. Alright.
Can you throw presents outside that Christmas scene? No.
No, and it's the only place, luckily.
And we don't want to.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
The way you progress the map is weird. Mainly we want to avoid picking up treasure like that, because it takes a few seconds every time.
Yeah. The last one I picked up was incredibly relevant though, because it's armor piercing rounds. And they do exactly what they say, they pierce armor. Which means that I can shoot straight through the armor and fully scratch the body part while the enemies still have armor. Alright, so Vacheron does not have a weapon right now, which doesn't matter though, because he's not gonna do anything in here. He's just gonna walk, and hopefully he's gonna make it. If he doesn't, it's not that bad.
Whatever's happening.
Right, now we're gonna use Rainbow here again.
Just hope Eurus is all right.
Hang on a little longer. We'll find him. I promise.
Rats in a trap!
It's awkward.
Really
I can't actually have that happen.
Whatever's happening, it isn't good.
I just hope Eurus is all right.
Hang on a little longer. We'll find him. I promise.
So people are saying combat mechanics seem strange. I think it's just a kind of unique thing because
Yeah, it is.
I think 1 year before this, the other big JRPG that came out was Final Fantasy XIII, which at that time also had a quite unique combat system. Well, pretty much every other JRPG just either stuck to ATB or turn-based, with a few action RPGs.
So what you see me do right now is I am actually refilling my HP by just hero running. I need a little bit more HP than I have right now, so I just have to run a couple straights. Inactive party members, like the ones that aren't currently running, also regen HP, but just not as fast. I mean, it's doable with the HP that I had, I just did not want to risk it.
I'd venture. This isn't worth getting killed over.
So maybe we can make it to the next area without an encounter.
Never lucky.
Luckily, all these encounters are just walk downwards.
We'll see who has the last laugh.
Alright, so one of the important things here is I'm gonna pick up this chest right here with Zephyr, and that has some juicy loot in it. It's gonna be an upgrade for our SMG, or rather, it's a new SMG, basically an upgrade, which we're gonna use only for 2 chapters though. Because in this chapter we're not gonna use any SMG at all, and the next chapter we're...
We'll have this lot on the run in no time.
And the next chapter we're gonna use it, I guess.
You ready for this? Rats in a trap!
So the reason this place is swamped with enemies is we're on the way to Eurus, the guy who carried out all the experiments. And because Rowan saw Bell alive, he also thinks that Eurus kind of betrayed him.
Alright, so we gotta switch this lever and then gotta get out of here. It doesn't matter how much HP everyone has, as long as I do not lose the shards, which might actually happen. Even then, it doesn't matter. I need one shard. And that's all that's relevant. But yeah, we're gonna make it out, no problem. Oh well.
We're gonna need
Are
some
we?
luck to win this.
That's not
We should
very
be.
encouraging.
Don't worry. When it comes to bad luck, we've got to beat hands down.
So these 2 guys on the right are gonna shoot me, but that's fine because it doesn't kill me. Gonna equip the proper grenades real quick.
Now I'm packing heat.
And here we go. This very special boss as well. I guess it's kind of like a mechanic they introduced later on, which is direct kill. Just need to make sure that these guys don't shoot. Alright. So while these turrets get out of their turret mode, if I gauge crack them, I will immediately kill them, regardless of their HP. So like they have 2 different kinds of HP bars, basically. And they can hide one of them if you want to look at it that way, while they transform. And that's basically what we did. We're gonna do that again in the next chapter. Yeah, that's basically it. Because after that we will have used all of our shock grenades. And that's why we exactly made 8. There's gonna be a boss coming up where it's 3 of those kind of turrets. So we have 3 grenades left. Yeah, it's also the second to last chapter coming up now. It's relatively short. I think it's like maybe 4 minutes.
Yeah, and the very last chapter is like kind of like boss rush in a way.
Yeah.
Where you fight a bunch of the Cardinals, which I mentioned earlier, weren't exactly on Rowan's side, like the guy who clashed with Vashron, but for some reason he still decides to stand in our way. Jean Paulet doesn't, which is great. He's a real bro.
Screw that guy. Alright, let's see, we need this. I need to do a little bit of extra, like, different customization here because I didn't get the item that I needed earlier. So, I'm just gonna do this slightly different than it would normally look like.
As you can see, the weapons kind of get ridiculous.
Alright, so normally all the barrels would be right underneath each other, but I'm missing one of the parts for that, so I had to pick up a backup part in the Christmas chapter. The effect is exactly the same, because it gives me 4 barrels, it's just, it looks slightly different.
You wonder if there's a Last Remnant speedrun? Yes, people do speedrun Last Remnant. Shoutouts to Hollow, who dies a lot. In Final Fantasy 9 at least. I don't know about Last Remnant.
Alright, back up here. The other area that we didn't quite open up yet is the next one, where we're headed. Oops. There we go. Awkward. I forgot to equip the weapon on Vashron. It's actually really awkward.
Traffic guy's supposed to get anywhere. Damn it, out of my way!
This is really bad. Because I do not have an SMG equipped. So I need to burn this guy now. And just waste enough time, basically.
Yeah, he keeps taking scrap damage, scratch damage over time with burning.
Oh god. I knew something like that would happen. Let's not talk about it. And I can't escape Hex out of this fight either, so this is the only way for me to actually win this fight right now.
We can only pray that they don't get your shards, really.
I picked up an extra 10 grenades for this reason, in case I screw it up.
So that still sort of worked out. Did the Pringles incentive get met? Yes, we're gonna do it after the run.
It's basically you can watch the credits while we try to figure out the thing. Actually, might not be able to do that. We'll see.
Worst case scenario, we'll just record it with the camera or something.
I'm glad I picked up those 10 extra grenades.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it at first, but then I was like, Alright, there's another scenario of bad targeting here. Basically, I'm gonna be killing one of the turrets, and then it will always go back to the helicopter, which is kind of annoying. Okay, so I need to do this properly. I need to go about here. Switch. I already switched to proper grenades. Kill the one in the back first. Kill this one. And kill this one.
Nice.
And that's it.
So yeah, this is where Rowan kills Sullivan, I guess. And now your party wants to go after Rowan for revenge.
Also, this is the only part of the game where your camera on the overworld automatically switches for absolutely no reason. I don't know why, but it defaults to what it was once I left the place. It's really annoying. Because I like my camera like this. Alright, last chapter coming up here. And we got a little bit less than 20. Might be cutting it close. But it's fine, we played that cutscene, so if we go over, it's like whatever.
Yeah, it's because of the cutscene. The cutscene was 20 minutes long.
No, but the cutscene was 2.5 minutes long.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how much we go over.
It was 20 minutes long.
It was 20 minutes long.
Yeah. Gotcha. So, in practice, I was having a hard time with some of the areas in with some of the rooms in the final area. So I hope it's going to be a little bit better here, because that was incredibly painful.
Yeah, just this area is incredibly difficult because. Most of the...
At least it gets incredibly difficult later on.
Like most mobs here are over level 100.
Let's keep this professional.
Or close to level 100.
So I blocked one of them from... So, like, one of them is blocked from shooting me because he's behind the other guy. Which was my goal.
Enjoy this.
Alright. Let these guys aim at Zephyr. And then we full scratch them fog style. Now for the first boss of the gauntlet, quote-unquote gauntlet, it's Garilgiano, however you want to pronounce him.
He's a creeper anyway, so...
It's the guy that helped us through the run by giving us the drum barrel.
Yep. He's all into fashion and whatnot. And his weapon is a picture frame. Isn't that great?
Yeah, I burnt him, so that's good. I didn't have to hit that extra hit.
She's cast
Whatever.
aside the gentle trappings of womanhood for the harsh steel of the battlefield.
So we just wait for the burn to take down his HP and then just take Green Bill and kill him. A little bit more of unskippable dialogue.
I lived each day following my heart.
What a splendid answer. Prelate Frita's ideal being made flesh. More beautiful than I had.
I'm actually surprised this guy sides against you, considering Jean-Paul doesn't. Because he's kind of the same, but more creepy.
Kind of the same, but more creepy.
He's old, and Jean-Paul at least looks plenty young. This is the last dungeon, yes.
Alright.
We're on our way to the final boss.
So we gotta place Zephyr here. With Vasher in here, so we get 1 resonance, and we have a clean path to shooting this guy in the back. And this guy in the back. That's close. Doesn't exactly matter though. Alright, so we're gonna use Green Bill to just jump over there. Kill the scratch guys, and then we're gonna finish off resonance basically.
Oh.
Nah, that's whatever. I had to double jump there first before I could do anything, because otherwise I would have just ran straight into the middle part there, which would have blocked me off. Alright, and we're landing more or less right in front of the switch.
Yet it was 9,000 damage. It's over 9,000!
Alright, now the other room. It's, that might not be far enough on the left. It's fine. Alright, this one, I'm gonna abuse this enemy on the left here, the big one. What's gonna happen is he's shooting at Zephyr. That's what's happening. Okay, there we go. Nice targeting Rainbow. Okay, can you, like... This guy.
Nice knowing you.
He really just doesn't want to target Rainbow, does he? Alright, there we go. Perfect. It's a little bit easier to hit them. Yeah, so the idea is that he actually dies from that attack, but oops, for some reason the big guy is just not hitting Rainbow right now. Just look at him switching targets all the time.
This is not going great.
This is everything but going. Just look at him constantly switching. This is one of the things that I mentioned earlier, like bad AI, or well, awful AI manipulation. You know what?
He
Fuck.
swapped again.
Fuck that guy. I'm just gonna kill this one myself. Got enough of these grenades that I can just chug at him. Problem is Zephyr's gonna get destroyed here. Yeah, like I said, I was having trouble with this area in practice as well. I am not very happy with this right now.
How does this thing work again?
Targeting Zephyr again.
Yep. Okay, I'm just gonna do different now. Screw all this stuff. Just gonna let him target Zephyr. I'm just gonna kill this guy first. It's slower, but I don't want to bother with this. I already wasted way too much time here. I didn't get to full scratch on him either. Alright, there you go.
I can read your every move. My gift to you.
This is so awkward. I hate this part.
Yeah, ideally this guy just...
This guy is just screwing everything up, literally.
Yeah.
Simply by...
targeting the wrong character.
Yeah, even though he's not supposed to.
Kneel and pray.
That's better. Still targeting Zephyr. This is beyond me.
It doesn't even make any sense, because...
And I bonked into him again. I need to burn him, so I might have. I need to actually do that. Okay, there we go. The backup here really sucks. It's like, ultimately what's supposed to happen is the big guy is supposed to target Greenbelt the second she walks forward. And after that, the rockets will just blow up that one guy that I'm running past. It's basically what's supposed to happen. But he just kept targeting Zephyr for a reason unknown to me. Because that's literally what I've been doing every single fucking time. And yeah. A little bit awkward, lost a couple of minutes there, but should've just gone with the backup right away. We're just gonna walk into this area. We're gonna use Zephyr to jump over this guy at a slight angle, because I need him to not immediately charge his action bar.
Because if you just go straight, he might kill you. Now we're at Anturion, which is also a really annoying guy.
Yeah, you need to burn this guy on at least the second hit. If you don't burn him on the second hit, you need to retry.
Give us Rowan. An old man watching over sides.
Yeah, I burned him, but I hit a lot of his armor for unfortunate reasons.
You are
let anyone tie a leash round your neck.
So ideally we'll burn some time here until he gets more scratched through the burn damage.
And fit to absorb you of your sins. And so I alone must be upon you.
So much hot air. I made a little of it out.
Yes, as it should be. Do your worst.
If I get frozen here, that would be very unfortunate. Yeah, I had a lot of the armor, which was because Vacheron did the wrong animation.
Now he's not getting burned.
And
so
now I can't burn him. Yeah, this is
not according to Kaku.
This is unfortunate because this is literally the only strat you can do. You have to burn him. Okay, we burned him.
That's better.
It's much better.
You are a relic from a time that's ending.
We like to, Vacheron. Victor, Teresa, all of us. You never let anyone tie a leash.
People in chat just realized you also speedrun Persona.
To me to tie the noose. In the end,
I do, sometimes.
I alone must pass judgment upon you. So much.
So I'm just gonna throw a hand grenade here to stun them, basically.
As it should be.
They're gonna do their stuff on Zephyr. Doesn't really matter.
They told me about you, but you're even more bloodthirsty than I had imagined.
You don't know anything.
Alright, fully burned him. Now I can finally kill him. I'm gonna use Rainbow for this though, because grenades deal way more damage. Let's not talk about that, okay? I'm just gonna see you this side.
Give us Rowan. The old man's place is watching from the side. The young man is so ignorant. Do you know how much blood we spilled to get where we are today? Shame.
I'm not happy with this.
You are a relic from a time that's ending.
We like to, Vacheron. Victor, Teresa, all of us. You never let anyone tie a leash round your neck. That's why it falls to me to tie the noose. In the end, I alone told you of your sins.
Don't worry guys, Pringles will be better.
So much hot air.
It's the only saving grace right now.
Yes, as it should be. Do your worst.
I do have a donation if you've got time here.
Sure.
So we got a $10 donation from Retroid saying, "Hey guys, unfortunately I haven't managed to catch much of ESA this year, but what I have seen has been great. Hope you all had an amazing time, and good luck for the end of the run here, Nev."
Thanks. Burning this guy is impossible.
I don't put much stock in that sort of thing.
You don't stand a chance against me. Come all the way down from Chandelier to die, have you?
I've come to live.
Then why here?
To live my own life. There!
Do you think the recklessness of youth some miracle?
Recklessness isn't only for the young.
inexpressibly strong.
You have your friend Victor to thank for that.
I speak of your will to live.
You can thank Victor.
Or unskippable dialogue. Yeah. We're shortly before the final boss, so we're going a bit over estimate, but this boss fight is incredibly hard, so...
And then that stuff works out first try. It's beyond me. And that too. Wow. Okay. What about this one? Okay, I need to position her pretty precisely. Okay, this isn't happening. I can already see this. Alright. Back up. I think Vacheron once is fine. I might bonk into him. No.
So
I wish I could have interrupted the front guy as well, but that's fine.
Now they're both fully scratched, so we can kill them pretty easy.
Pretty easy, except I need to actually get past the armor parts.
Yeah. In theory, pretty easy.
Yeah, we got it.
Ideally, they walk a bit different, and you can do different things, but...
yeah, so the right guy is supposed to walk behind the left guy, and you just stand still and do exactly the same thing, basically. He didn't even hit him, it just wasted time for no reason. Alright. It's another one of those. How's it impossible for me to interrupt him? It's crazy.
Too slow. I like it a lot.
Okay, he just hit that thing a couple of times. That's perfect. Oh, I'll have to run on this one. It's not that big of a deal. It's impossible for me to interrupt anybody.
There's an additional boss for this game, which is Sullivan and Rebecca after the final boss, but we're not gonna do that.
Alright. this should work.
So as you can see...
So I want to bonk into this guy and land on the right side of him. I didn't bonk, but that's fine. Didn't exactly hit him. That's fine. I have a bunch of grenades left that I can just chug at him. Alright. So now I need to make sure to not actually use armor-piercing rounds because I only have 2 left and I need 2 for Rowan. Please don't hit 10 million armor pieces. Alright, now it's just Rowan left. And well, getting to Rowan. The room before Rowan is empty, so there's no issue with that. And in empty rooms, your hero gauge will recharge even if you're not full. So we're gonna get the last shard back.
So yeah, time for Rowan, the ultimate last boss.
Using those 2 last armor piercing rounds do we have. And time will be whenever he dies.
Show me miracles or reality. I'm not here to show you anything. I'm here to take everything away.
I don't understand. Why are you holding on to us?
Foolish child. Do you need a reason to kill?
You're nothing but a bad child. What's getting killed in a rage-fueled frenzy gonna accomplish?
Prattle on all you like. Only a hard-fought death holds the meaning I crave.
Yeah, he shoots the environment to scratch you.
I know the sins you committed, child. My own sin. Exactly. Kill or be killed. Not so unlike.
Alright, and that's my last grenade here.
Death awaits.
He might kill Zephyr here, which would be unfortunate.
Schoolyard brawl. I want to see blood, child. I have a name. You'll be shouting it all the way down to hell.
Alright, now I need these.
This is it.
Please burn him.
I'm working. Admit it. You're embarrassed to find me a worthy opponent.
Worthy? What the hell game? Fine. Tell God whatever you want.
I just cannot burn this guy.
The same thing with Antonian kind of thing. You need to burn him so he gets fully scratched.
I know our fate isn't written in stone, but it doesn't frighten me.
How ironic. I sacrificed the others to change.
I have 4 more bullets for this. I still haven't burned him.
There we go.
But Rinbelt's gonna die here. Yeah. Wow, so unlucky. I just need 1 burn and 11 bullets, and I just cannot do it.
Have you come to show me miracles or reality?
Literally, 1 in 11 bullets. The chance isn't exactly low either.
Why are you holding on to us?
Child, do you need a reason to kill?
You're nothing
Make
but
sure that fully scratched him.
What's getting killed in a rage-fueled frenzy gonna accomplish?
Prattle on all you like. Only a hard-fought death holds the meaning I crave.
There. How's it?
I know the sins you've committed, child. My only sin is living. Exactly. Kill or be killed. We're not so unalike, you and I.
Alright.
A war of rage is coming. A reign of blood.
Take 2. Let's just burn him.
3 for RNG.
I want to see blood, child. I have a name. You'll be shouting it all the way down to hell.
Take the proper grenades here.
You're hard to miss.
Admit it. You're embarrassed to find me a worthy opponent. Worthy?
Yeah, it's still not burned, so that's great.
Tell God whatever you want when you're praying for your life.
Oh, yeah!
Is this what Victor had to work with?
I just cannot burn this guy. It is impossible.
Clash of hearts pounding with the heat of battle.
It's easy for raw power to overcome base emotion. See for yourself.
Just when I thought I couldn't possibly get any better.
And now you see why no one likes running this game.
Because it's difficult.
Yes.
I burned him though. But that isn't exactly going to help us at that point, I think. Because now we're a little late to the party.
That's your best. Would picturing Leanne dying help you find strength? Would picturing your mouth full of lead help you to shut up?
Nail it, Frank!
It's really awkward.
Moving pretty slow. All that lead weighing you down? Don't worry about me. My body isn't half so broken as your mind.
I could have actually done it without having to burn an extra time. Or shoot him an extra time, rather. Okay, I'm gonna lose 1 shard here from Zephyr. Because the poison reduced his maximum HP below 1000, which means I only lose 1 shard. Oh, I need to use something that has multiple. Time.
Now you can run a better game.
Yeah. Oh, this is a disaster. That didn't necessarily have to do with practicing Pringles more than this game. That just had to do with
RNG being not nice.
I think I shot Rowan about 25 times or something, and I burned him
twice.
Yeah.
So at the end of this game, you actually shoot Rowan, but Zenith again decides to interfere, and well, Rowan lives.
We'll get the Pringles set up while you guys enjoy the credits or something. I don't know.
Pringles is the true meme game of ESA 2018. Speaking of Pringles, I am really hungry. The Pringles? I have no idea what can, but probably, yeah. Yeah, it is all levels. Just put 5 minutes. Yeah, what you can see here is like the ending playing out. All the Cardinals we shot are actually not dead. And our trio actually leaves Basel to live in the outside world again. This is Eurus. He's like the professor with all the children. He's also still alive. I think about the only person who really died was like Lagerfeld and a bunch of other people we killed. Lagerfeld is evil, so that's fine. But yeah, we can go live outside Basel now. If you actually get to this, you unlock more difficulties. And also you unlock the Sullivan and Rebecca fight, which is incredibly hard, so you should be at least level 150 to even start facing that. And this is Rowan's fiance, I think? Not entirely sure. Stream 2 will be dedicated to Persona 5. I'll just move a bit out of the way while people set up Pringles here. That I'm not allowed to eat, because I've actually not cleared the game. I'll leave the Pringles to Neviutz at this point. Big shout out to ESA, it's been a blast. The venue is great, the people were great, and I hope that they'll be here again next year.
Yes, on that note, thank you for watching Resonance of Fate. Apologize for the poor showcase at the very end. But you know how it is, third time's a charm. And yeah, thanks Noctis for commentating. If Fog is already watching the stream,